This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian. Movie reviews and more worldwide. 24/7 Pandora, Spotify, everything. I'm not going to talk a lot because I got a storm going on, and I think right in. So we start with SoHo Johnny because I call him James Bond. SoHo, tell us where you're coming from and what's happening.
SoHo Johnny from SoHoJohnny.com, representing tonight the Let Me Help Inc. Foundation 9/11 show.
All right, so next, Roger,
I'm not sure what you just say. You're cutting out so bad. Roger from Unforgettable Fire Llc, representing a small group of wonderful people that have developed a product line and a bit of a global reputation for really making great American products. Good to be here and getting to meet some new people. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I see we got another drummer in the room. Hi. Next person.
We got 3 drummers in the house. That's a great thing. So Charles Z, talk about where you're from.
All right, guys. All right. What up, everyone? I'm Charlie Z, Drumageddon. I'm a cyborg drummer DJ from the future. Drumageddon.com, you can see it right there. But I'm with SoHo Johnny. We're here to promote the big 9/11 Gala event in New York City, roomy event space. It's going to be amazing. We'll tell you all about it later. Rock and roll.
Portugal. And you.
Hi everyone, this is Danielle Martins. As Brian stated, I am in Portugal. I am a branding strategist. I am also a best-selling author of the book Rising Up from Mental Slavery, How to Unleash Your Infinite Potential. And I am also the branding manager at Hasmark Publishing International. And we have today one very special co-host also, Angelica Robles, one of our authors.
Hi, everybody. Angelica Robles. I am an author. I'm a CEO of Out of Our Investigative Group, and my book is about to come out, Through These Brown Eyes. I'm excited about it. It's a story of my life, working undercover for the government and all the craziness that comes with it. I'm excited to be here. So hi, everybody. I'm coming from Houston.
So Johnny, let's kick off this. We got 911 coming really good. I one of the nominated last year for one of the best events in the world last year.
Well, thank you for that. That was our November. It was the 6-hour virtual concert. That there's a lot of parallelism from what's going on now and to September 11th one, and that concert as well. Everybody came out of the goodness of their heart and just giving. I mean, nobody was compensated. All the celebrities for that one. 6-hour virtual event. That was a virtual event because we're still in COVID, Thanksgiving of 2020 last year. But now, in a couple of weeks, less than 2 weeks from now, September 11th, I can't believe it's here, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. We will always forget. We always remember, excuse me, we'll never forget. And we have tremendous gala, music, fashion, celebrity extravaganza that has come together a little bit quite organically here. Again, the notion just came up not too long ago, and all these celebrities have came to support. And just a little bit about myself. I'm SoHo Johnny. SoHoJohnny.com is my entertainment platform. But I've done a fair amount of, and I don't want to take credit for it. It's the people around me that deserve the credit. I'm just kind of like the figurehead. But, we've done a fair amount of charity events. And what has happened, I started with American Cancer Society years ago when I lost my dad to cancer, which affects so many people. And last year when I lost my mom to COVID, and I tried to turn negative into a positive, loss, death is what defines all our lives. I had this foundation on the side, and I launched it called LetMeHelpInc.org. And in that fashion, we took it a few notches up, and now here we are. September 11th, we've got this major event. It's at the Roomy Event Lounge, 229 West 28th Street. I believe it's in Manhattan, New York City, in the Big Apple. We have a red carpet starting at 5 o'clock. And we've got a tremendous lineup of talent that have come, and a fashion runway, which Charlie will tell you a little bit more about, Charlie Z, Drumageddon. And just so much has resonated and gone into it. I'm just so blessed to be part of it, and the tidal wave of talent and good faith and good, ethics of humanity that's been behind it. So we'll talk a little about the lineup in a minute, but just to put this out there for everybody, because we still have some tickets left, and we're out there. The tickets can be had at SoHoJohnny.com, SoHoJohnny.com, or LetMeHelpInc.org. Don't mean to be verbose, but I just did a radio commercial earlier today, and everyone said I sounded like a radio announcer, so I'm probably rambling on. So forgive me, everybody.
With James. So with that, we got 3 drummers here. So in Z, so, and with that, so Charles Z, talk about what's going on.
Okay, Charlie Z, Drumageddon. So yeah, SoHo Johnny and I paired up to do the biggest 9/11 event for the 20th anniversary of the attacks on 9/11 in the city. It's a week before Broadway reopens. It's a Fashion Week event. It's going to be massive. It's going to be amazing. We have a crazy cast of lineup of all the best people in the world. I'll tell you about in a minute. But yeah, he said it's 229 Roomy Event Space, 229 West 28th Street between 7th and 8th. And it goes 5 to 11, and it's going to be an amazing cast of characters. We got SoHo, we got me. I'm headlining Drumageddon. I'm a cyborg drummer DJ. So I DJ and drum simultaneously. And you can see the kit that I use is right back here. It's very, very big and crazy looking. So you can kind of get a vibe of that. But I play seated, standing, and I scream. I hype the crowd. I do everything that a DJ does while still drumming and going nuts on everything, which is really cool. So that's my general vibe. But on this show, we have Felipe Rose from the Village People. We have Kim Sledge, Sister Sledge, We Are Family. We have American Idol and voice singers Manny Cabo, Ali Guercho, Jerome Bell, pop star Carisha Turner, actor Leon Robinson from Cool Runnings, Joey Belladonna from Anthrax, Avalona from Foreigner, Bob Kinkle from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Fred Schneider from B-52s, Broadway star Nick Burrows, Michelle Schacht, billionaire Grandmaster Kim, Gigi Gorgeous, April Rose, Gabrielle Kulik, Katie Welsh, Queenie King, and a Duchess is coming. So it's really, really crazy. Red carpet 5 to 7, and then we have a choreographed dance fashion show that we're putting together, which is absolutely crazy. Hisham Ben signed on as our designer, and he's going to be he's done all the royal family's clothes in Morocco, which is crazy. So it's nuts. And then he's on, and then we basically have everyone. 7 to 11 is the big concert at this point. So it's going to be a really, really, really cool event, and all different styles of music. New York City, we're really trying to bring a very heartfelt tribute with Johnny, Let Me Help Inc., and all of the portions of the proceeds, I should say, go to Operation Warrior Shield. And they give service dogs to veterans and first responders. We're very, very blessed and happy to be able to actually give back to the first responders and people who were affected by 9/11. So that's what we're doing here.
And Danielle, what do you think about that?
It's amazing, especially in these days, people are so stressed with all this COVID situation, and being able to put together an event that I'm here in return. But putting together an event that not only helps to raise funds to help people and also offer some entertainment to people, I think this is an amazing idea.
Angelica?
Just listening to SoHo Johnny talk about this, I'm getting so excited about it. I know I was invited to the event. I thought about it and I was like, started looking at flights because I was like, I need to be here.
Come on.
Right, I know. I got so much going on, so many moving parts, but just like Danielle said, just to piggyback on what she said, I think this is such a privilege that you get to put this together and all these amazing people coming together for this great cause. And can you believe it's been 20 years? I think we can all remember back to that moment of what we were doing when all this happened. So seeing all these people come together in New York where it all went down, I think it's going to be a really nice culmination of celebration. So it sounds amazing.
So Roger, the drummer in you, what does that think about that? But also the inventors. We're going to
Well, I think it's a very necessary time for our country to be coming together. And I don't really wish that it was coming together to remember a sad moment in our history, but at the same time, if it's something that brings us together, and for that matter, the effect that has on the world around us, I think it's high time that we need things that bring us together. So things like that very much excite me. The inventor portion of me really wants to see business come back to normal. I want to see, again, people coming together, because the only way that our little group has been able to succeed is through the implementation of, I don't even want to say team, I want to say family. Our group and our group of groups. There's a whole group of groups around us that we all pretty much operate as one community. And we would never have gotten anywhere without that. And it's been really sad to see our country kind of really divided about some things. And it's kind of like, okay, what catalysts can we use? What can we do to bring people back together? For that matter, what can we do to bring people back together on a global level? Which, if I may, segues me into something I would like to announce too. There's a third festival, 3 drummers, 3 festivals. The one that I have been drafted to be a part of, and I'm very excited about, Truth Seekers waterfestival.com. It's happening the last 4 days of October here in Burnsville, beautiful North Carolina. It will be live streamed all over the world. There will be some amazing speakers like Dr. Wolf, who's amazing cancer research and cure without chemo, without surgery, without all the stuff that we're used to hearing when it comes to cancer. There's going to be people that are experts in so many fields speaking from this event. And for $20, anybody in the world has 24-hour access to all of the speakers, all of the live music. My band will be playing too. So there's the drummer part you asked about. The Truth Seekers waterfestival.com is going to be an amazing thing. And I hope people can check it out and come join us. If you're looking at survival stuff, there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of what kind of foods to grow in, what kind of soils at what kind of time of the year, and canning, all the stuff people used to do that we've really let go of. So getting back to nature, and of course, obviously Water Festival, the woman, Kimberly Taylor, that's putting this on, I can't even explain it all. She is so amazing about water. And so I hope people will tune in and find out exactly how important pure water is, and properly ionized water, and how it can really change your body, your life, and how you're working with people around you. So that's my today.
Back into Johnny and Charlie, I love what he's created. Going back to wood stoves, going back to everything that has changed. This is healing. It's about music. It's about helping a lot of people. Roger, talk about the Katydid, how you create that.
You're really chopped up. I think you were asking me to kind of explain the evolution of the wood stove thing. I started out in 1985 sweeping chimneys, and it's kind of funny. I've come back full circle now. I'm sweeping chimneys again. I love doing it. Still doing it all these years. But along the way, I ran my own wood stove shops. Pretty much learned everything by just going out and doing it. I found people had needs, and I could learn by practicing on their homes. But it went really well along the years. I learned so much. And then in the 2008 struggle, a lot of businesses went down. We were part of that. Ended up living on a boat for a period of time and invented a stove simply for that application. It was never meant to go to market. It did. The story behind it, I could go on for hours about how weird it is, but let's just suffice it to say that this was divinely touched. There is no way this could have ever happened unless it was divinely touched. And still, to this day, it's divinely touched. We now sell globally. We're leading the industry in some very cool things like wood stoves that not only heat, but can be used to cook and bake, produce electricity and hot water. We're actually at Washington, D.C. on the National Mall for 2 different global wood stove design challenges. And our little Kimberly stove, which was the first, went in 2013, I think it was. Maybe it was 2015. I'm chronologically challenged. But we were invited back in 18 with our KD3 stove. And that was actually powering up my electric guitar and my amplifier right there on the floor of the National Mall in a big giant tent. And we were cooking, I think it was salmon and baked potatoes and asparagus all at the same time. And people were staring at this thing going, what on earth is that? So it's been a very exciting path to be in these shoes. I have to say I have an amazing, amazing team of people. Vanessa Kelly, if you're watching this, could not do this without you, as we know, and without God either. COVID has slowed us down. Some things have been pretty difficult. Even shipping can be very difficult. We ship globally, but we're still moving ahead, and I'm still very excited to see these kinds of technologies come out to everybody's house that wants it. Because to me, we live in a kind of tenuous time, and there's one thing I know I can count on, which is my wood stove is always going to keep me warm. I can cook on it. I can bake on it. I can produce electricity with it. That is a sense of security that most people don't have unless they have a piece of equipment like that. So we're real thrilled. And it also, environmentally, the wood stove industry has gone through such an amazing transformation since I started in 1985. Emissions going from 85 grams an hour of particulate, which was carcinogenic, down to 2 grams an hour in the period of time that I've been in this industry. So we're real thrilled to be a part of that. We're really thrilled to be kind of considered cutting edge. And we look forward to more networking, meeting more people. I'm looking for some folks that can come in on the thermoelectric generation side. If anybody out there is interested in that, our website is posted and people can get a hold of me with comments or questions at any point in time. And I should probably shut up and let somebody else talk.
Like talk to you as authors, like Angelica. Go ahead.
I couldn't hear you, Brian.
No. Angelica, your turn. How can you why it's important?
I think it's for Angelica.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Talk about who you are, what you're writing, why it's important.
Okay, so who I am. So born and raised in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for 27 years. I grew up in a rough neighborhood, predominantly Hispanic, low socioeconomic, low income. Pretty much my neighborhood was rough. We were cleaning blood off of our front door steps because people were getting killed. And I went to high school, and one of my friends was murdered, dismembered, and decapitated. And that pretty much gave me this sense of anger. I didn't know how to deal with it. So grew up with a lot of anger, went to college and decided that I wanted to join the government because I wanted to figure out why people do such heinous acts and how somebody could get paid $1,000 to take somebody's life away. This case was one of the worst cases in Chicago history. You can look it up. If you read through the transcripts, it's so gruesome what this man did to my friend. And I actually read through it again, probably at the beginning of this year, just because I almost needed to read it as an adult because I read it as a 15-year-old and it was a different experience.
Let's go.
And so I ended up writing a book about my life doing undercover work for the government, being what it is like to be a Latina in a white male dominant field, and how I got to be an interrogator and all that good stuff. So I can't give too much out in the book, but the book is very, very good. It's fire. You guys have to get it. It's on pre-sale right now at my website, www.angelicaroblesofficial.com. It officially will launch November 17th of this year. So I'm really excited. I'm coming to California again because the day of the launch, we're going to be doing a live show here. So everybody tune in, because I'm sure everybody's going to have a lot of questions once they read the book based on the ending. So all I can give that's really kind of riveting and I can leave you hanging a little bit is the book was finished. And as my husband at the time read the book, he was triggered by the book to say his truth, which the purpose of the book was for that. I purposely wrote the book so that people can really let go of their past, because our past does not define us. And so I share all the things that happened to me and all the tragedies and all the trauma I went through. And in this book, it was almost a catharsis for me to share what had happened to me and how I dealt with it and how I released it and became the person that I am today. So in the process of that, my husband was triggered and he told me his truth. And so I ended up adding 2 more chapters to the book because of what ended transpiring from the conversation that I had with my husband and what happened in that moment, which eventually led to the divorce. So all that is in the book. There's family and friends that don't know why we actually divorced. So the ending of the book is pretty, for better words, is pretty breathtaking, I would say. I think Danielle has read the book. And so it will definitely leave you wondering, like, what the hell happened? So, yeah, that's all I got.
So this goes back to also anti-bullying, going back to what you created, Johnny, why it's important what you do. Also, Charles, talk about music videos. Talk about those.
Well, you're breaking up a little bit, Brian, but I think you mentioned anti-bullying, and that was in cooperation with great guy Andrew Cole and the anti-bullying effort tied to Creative Visions Foundation, which was part of our November concert. But there's so many great goals out there, great charities. And again, I talked a little bit about why we picked this one and the whole 9/11 thing. It's 20 years since 9/11 happened. It's amazing. But, I think, the breadth of love, I was just, looking around here and even in my own website, the breadth of love is spoken in the language of musical expression. So I think what Roger was talking about kind of I'm just tying into what Roger says about unity and bringing people together. Music is a common denominator that has no diversity. It has no prejudice. It doesn't matter because people could resonate and enjoy the passion of music together, which is kind of what SoHo Johnny has been born, tied to charity as well. And I think, when you put those things together, you have a trifecta, charity, music, and celebrities that are, in my mind, double celebrities, like a 9/11 event, that are also giving back by just giving in this fashion. And I don't want to try to take credit, but I will say this on the broadcast. Anybody that's been to a SoHo Johnny in-person live event has walked away with some hell of an experience. I could promise you that. And I wish there was some people in the audience that could just chat right now and maybe make some comments about it. It sounds like I'm talking about myself. But no, my team, we really, and myself, I'm animated, I'm on the stage, and I just go crazy, and we just connect with the audience, and people leave that performance with such a buzz and such a high energy, and they know it's about charity, and these celebrities are also here. So picture this concert, because we're kind of doing, especially this time, we're doing something a little bit different. We have somewhat of a tapestry, picture it like a canvas of a great painting, where every artist is going to have a stroke, and at the end, it's a masterpiece, which we've done so far. And so much goodwill has gone into it. It's very, very interesting to see how it's all going to come out when we just land the plane on 9/11 and save all the people, just like Sully did, that hero who saved that 747 that had the problem and then almost went down and landed it on the Hudson River years ago. And that's kind of what we're doing here for 9/11, because it's a celebration of life, a memorial of something we must never forget. And the spirit of humanity, the mandate of humanity, that was actually the name of our first comic book, Mandate for Humanity. But we won't get into that now. But it's just so much has gone into it. Charlie had mentioned a few of the celebrities, but those are only some of them. We have a list of them, and we're still getting calls of people reaching out. And just yesterday, a few more came on. And, all I have to say, I'm in awe, and I'm so thankful to be kind of in the midst of this, because this is the true, I'm a believer in humanity. I believe in the goodness. I believe that there's plenty of hope out there, and it's just a matter of just waking up every day. We all go through things. We all have losses. We all have challenges, and nobody gets out of here alive but one day. But you have to hold on to the spirit and appreciate every day, and wake up the thoughts with the thoughts that every day is a blessing and a gift. I do. It sets my barometer correctly in the beginning of the day, and I approach that from a feeling inside of accepting myself, loving myself, but not in a narcissistic way, and forgiving myself, and reaching out to people in that way. That tie that to a performance and talent and all the things that we're kind of putting here together. So I'm kind of like the conductor here, I think, if you want to say that. But the appreciation goes to all the people that have been involved. So I promise everybody, SoHoJohnny.com, for those who want tickets. We have VIP, a few more tickets, not much left. VIP tickets and some tables, and we even have I think we have one or two more sponsorship opportunities left. SoHoJohnny.com to get your tickets, or you can actually get them on the foundation page. Let Me Help Inc. LetMeHelpInc.org. There it is. Thank you, Brian. To come and come on down, or log on, or send an email, reach out to us. The door is open. The house of SoHo Johnny's welcome to everybody. And again, shout out to you guys, Brian, and everybody on your show for keeping the line on, because that's what's so important, especially in these trying times. And they're not so much trying. You come from the spirit, and you have that mindset. Things just go a little bit easier. Just put out some good notion, good vibes out to everybody.
Hey, Charles, talk about your new music. Talk about your videos. The great stuff as that drummer.
Yeah. So I'll tell you about what's going on over here. So Drumageddon was born of a crazy gig that I got a call for. I think it was a couple years back. Out of sight, he was a Warner Brothers multi-platinum artist. He calls me to come in and drum for him. But they called me to go, hey, can you actually be a cyborg drummer? Can you DJ and drum? Can you do this whole thing? I was like, yeah, I'll do that. That sounds awesome, So I hang up the phone. I had none of the gear at the time. This is many years later. And I go, oh, crap, now what do? I run to Guitar Center. I buy all the gear. I learn how to use it. First rehearsal, second rehearsal, got through, did the first gig at a college, warm-up gig. Second gig was opening for Bon Jovi. And then it was crazy. We went to, Lollapalooza, Warped Tour, Bamboozle Fest, tons of other really big gigs. And I developed this whole Drumageddon concept. But it wasn't until around last year when the shutdown happened that I doubled and tripled down on my music. And the craziest thing that happened was I went viral. Like I hit 6 million plays and views in a month on the latest single, Get Tough. It features Manny Cabo from The Voice and La Voz. It's got the horns from All the Lights, Rihanna and Kanye. It's got the strings from Viva La Vida, Coldplay. It's a full orchestra. It's a sports anthem. It's blowing up. So now I'm beyond I think it's 12.5 million plays and views across platforms on 7 songs in 1 year, which is just mind-blowing. So I actually did the November event with Johnny, and it was unbelievable. It was one of the top 10 biggest virtual concerts in the world, right? Top 10 in the world by LA Times. So I jumped on that, and that's where Johnny and I really started to get together. John Velasco Mills, he's the connection between us and everything, and we just jumped on together. We were collaborating on this big event, and it's going to be one of the biggest, craziest, most amazing 9/11 events. And to tie in what some of these other people are saying, I mean, trauma, loss, all these themes, all these things that are happening with all of us. These are really human things. These are human emotions, and we all have to overcome them. Get tough. The lyric is, get tough like Rocky, enough excuses, baby, right? Orchestra, the idea is Rocky is the underdog. New York City was beaten down 20 years ago. We were ground zero then. We're ground zero again for COVID, and we're going to overcome. That's what this whole concert is about. We're going to overcome. We're going to be like Rocky. We're going to win in the end. We're going to punch out all the competition, and we're going to be the best we can possibly be. And that's the whole situation.
I just want to chime in.
So Danielle, it's almost.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
I just want to chime in what Charlie was saying. We must all remember that some of the greatest works of art or music, expression, or whatever has been done not only with the greatest times or the greatest experience we've had, but some of the worst experiences. It's the trials and tribulations of life that some people just they draw from that an inspiration to create, to evolve, or to relate and to project into other people the goodness of what they have. It could be a broken heart, it could be a loss, and look at how many people that perform with handicaps that have overcome, Stevie Wonder, blind people, whatever the case may be. And that's the spirit of humanity. And that's kind of like where we're tying in with this concert for 9/11, because we will do better. And all these champions that have come, Charlie that has been collaborating with us here, and all the other people that have come that just found the goodness of their heart and to just help do this. It's going to be an amazing show. And I'm not trying to brag about it. Sounds like I'm doing it, but I'm kind of like in the midst of it. And I see all this creativity. And the greatest creativity is not something where someone's just getting a check or getting paid. The greatest creativity is when they're unbridled and they're just out there and they're just going to put their A game on, because the greatest motivation is what comes from inside. It's not because of external, because of just getting paid. The greatest motivation. So we have got a very, very special thing going on here. So please, anybody, just log on SoHoJohnny.com, letmehelpinc.org. Check us out. Come on down. And by the way, just a little segue here. Angela, your book sounds very, very intriguing. I'd love to get an autographed copy because I think it's going to be a bestseller. And Roger, I'm intrigued by your concept, what you're doing about the energy. I know a little bit about that space as well. So great, a lot of great people on this show, Brian, today. And again, thank you for having me on today.
Yeah. So what do you think about what Roger has said? And what do you think about what SoHo Johnny has said? Danielle, can you hear me?
Okay. No, I didn't hear that you were asking for me. I think that the similarity that I see here in this program is that the core message between what Johnny SoHo is doing and what Angelica Robles is doing with her book is that you can re-signify your past. As Angelica said, it's not about even though it was difficult, not allowing the past to define who you are, and resignifying and making it your strength for you to be here today. And when the event of 9/11 happened, many people, I think all the people were so sorry and angry with what happened. However, the event is bringing together the best in human beings, which is union, which is love and compassion, and transforming the past in something that can bring humanity together in one, same heart, same soul, same energy, vibe. I think it's amazing.
You know, Roger, one of the things that I like about you, all the challenges that you've been through with the government, you created this great wood stove. I talk about that.
I missed the last part of what you asked.
Talk about the Katie. I should have that.
I'm going to have to take a guess. The Kimberly came out first. That was a very small stainless steel round stove that really has found its way into the tiny house community, which I'm a part of too, unforgettabletinihouse.com. And there's a platform from my West Coast days called Freedom to Thrive and Eagle Log Cabins. We are all part of that group of groups that I mentioned earlier. There's the two stoves. So the Kimberly was the first one. She came out and kind of turned the world on its ear a little bit, the stove industry, because it was the first stove to have two extremely different combustion zones. The flame on the bottom is simply gasifying the wood. We're purposely creating a smoke bomb in the bottom of that little tiny stove. And as the gases and smoke rise up into the top, we create a vortex action. We shoot superheated air into the top end, and we have a completely secondary combustion zone in the top end. This little stove has been known to go from the tiny house to a 1,500 square foot home. It works in both areas as long as the insulation values are matched. Then a lot of people came along and said, well, my house is bigger than that. What can you do for my home? And I think she's watching tonight. Hi, Mom. I wanted to honor my mother by using the name Katydid. My mom's name is Katie. Kimberly was actually named after a woman who, speaking of community, came forward and urged me to change my mind about just having a stove that was built to keep my family from freezing to death on a boat to going to market with it. And she actually, it was just a miracle the way people came together, but she took me to an attorney and paid for our patent search. And I had no idea at the time what I was getting into. But again, I mean, I could go on for hours and hours about divinity being a part of this. And again, I could go on and on for hours about community being a part of this. And for example, this afternoon, a good friend of mine, his name is Gary Hatt, and he is the owner and publisher of Bus Conversions Magazine, bc.com online. He rolled into town during this storm that we're having coming up from Florida, and we got to sit. He's another great example of people that came and loved what we were doing and wanted to get involved in one level or another. And they say it takes a community to raise a child or a village, right? Well, these stoves were the children, and they started really helping people. And we've seen folks that would have lost their home, or they were having to choose between the mortgage and the heat bill. And these stoves very efficiently, very cleanly, very decent to Mother Nature, were able to come in and shut down their oil furnace, shut down whatever they were using that was costing them so much money. So we get letters from our clients saying, oh my God, you guys saved our house. And that's like one of the biggest rewards that I think an inventor could ever get. Certainly being in the manufacturing end of it. And we're very old fashioned, by the way. When somebody calls our 1-800 number, they get one of two people. That's myself and my number two in command, Vanessa Kelly. If you're with us tonight, God bless. And people have been known to call like on Christmas Eve, and they're expecting to leave a message for us that we'll get after the vacation's over. One of the two of us will answer the phone. If you call on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, you will talk to a human being. And if we can, we will solve your problem right then and there. So yeah, the products are really cool, and we're really excited about that and the future of where we're headed with that. But again, it comes back. It's about community, and it's about service, and it's about something being what we consider a divine path. We were chosen to do this. And by the way, just to get a little longer winded, when you're chosen and you believe in your heart, that you are chosen to do something. For me, what that means is God himself chose myself and my team members to do this. And we would not have been chosen if it wasn't expected that we would succeed. Therefore, if we stay true to our mission, which is serving others, there's no way to fail. And so when times get real hard, and they have been, let's face it hasn't been easy on anybody, and especially small businesses. But when I look at this and I embrace it for what it is, I see opportunity. I see challenge to bring people into the fold and let them be as good as they are at whatever it is that they are good at. And that's how our community has grown. We have people, I don't even know what they do, but they tell me this is what to expect and how long it's going to take. And my goodness, God, they're never wrong. And I never have to be anybody's boss. It's amazing. So again, community, family, everybody takes ownership over it. We're all very excited about how we're helping both humanity and the environment at the same time. A great example, we can reduce your firewood consumption from 150 pounds a day down to 40. And it is just a massive reduction in use of environmental, our stock, our forestry. We're not taking good care of our planet. And so not only do we serve people and do an amazing job with customer service, but we get to look after our planet at the same time. And that flowed right into the tiny house thing with, like I said, the Eagle Log Cabins and Unforgettable Tiny House. Gary's Bus Conversion magazine, that's supporting the community that's leaving behind the big giant McMansion and downsizing, and that's better for the planet. It doesn't have to be a race about how many bedrooms your house has anymore. It's just, that's ridiculous. We're all looking at a completely different paradigm now, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful to God. I'm thankful, Brian, for your work in bringing a platform like this to people that, we don't get to do this because we're too busy in the inventing room. So you give us a really great voice here to meet people and reach out with our message. Thank you.
So that's why. And he's actually one of our sponsors. Terry, good to see you. Talk about who you are and where you're coming from.
Hi, I'm Terri Marie. I've been with Brian for like 6 years now, doing red carpet, hosting events, a fitness competitor. I'm down in San Diego, so I was supposed to be on the show earlier today, but I got stuck in traffic. But I'm in beautiful San Diego, and conferences are back. I'm actually at an orthopedic conference down here, so it's kind of weird because this is the first big conference I've been to since COVID. So I'm grateful that things are somewhat getting back to normal. But hi, everybody.
Hi.
Getting ready to get out of here. Let's talk about Hassmark real quick, and then Dan.
Is it for me, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, so Hassmark Publishing is a publishing company based in Canada. And we are really passionate about positioning our clients for success, and meaning that we do whatever is in our reach to put them, to work on their branding, work in the marketing of their book. We do awesome covers, quality editing. It's a very complete package of services, and we are very different from other publishing houses. And we also have AR technology on books, in books, in which you can see things come alive from the reading, extra content and, images and movies. It's amazing.
So Charles, let's give you social media links for everybody and talk about Riot. That's my favorite video.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one. Yeah, so I'm basically at Drumageddon on all socials, DRMAGDN. You can see it right down there. It's really cool. But yeah, so the whole record is, it's got American Idol and Voice Singers, all my friends on it. Riot specifically was a really, really amazing track. It came out of a relationship that a friend of mine, a girl, actually told me about. She's one of my singers in one of the bands that I music direct in New York. And she mentioned she was this 5'1", Greek girl and everything, just very chill, but she had a temper, and one day she walked in on her boyfriend actually actively cheating on her in the bed with one of her best friends. So she saw red. This guy was 6'1", she's 5'1". She sees red. She goes completely nuts. She takes the guy. She starts beating him, takes him, throws him through the drywall, leaves out the window. He gets the blame. Cops come. She kicks him out. She lives in the apartment. She lives happily ever after. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a song about that kind of vibe, So Riot is about overcoming injustice in general, right? And it was from the female perspective of, just taking so much, and then she explodes at the end, and the whole track explodes and is gigantic and everything. And the cool part about Riot specifically was I basically film all my music videos. I do all the editing. I do everything related to all the producing, the songwriting, the arranging, the putting together of all the talent, the mixing, the mastering. I do it all. Because that's what you have to do in 2021 to be a successful artist. And I do all my social media and digital marketing and pushing of everything on the back end too. So everything that everyone's saying, it's like I totally get where they're coming from. But Riot, I actually live in the West Village in New York. So I'm on Christopher Street, and right down the road is Stonewall Inn, and that's where the Stonewall riots started the entire Pride Fest worldwide, gay rights, that's the center of it. And it also kind of dovetailed with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. And what happened is the year before, I took a bunch of stuff because of the Stonewall riots and, the positivity of the gay rights and the parade and the march and the whole thing. And I kind of dovetailed it with all the BLM, incentives that had the quote unquote riots. It wasn't that bad in New York City. It was actually just a couple places or whatever. But what BLM represents is so big and important, it's overcoming injustice, period, and I think we could all agree that everyone should kind of be treated well in general. So I put those two together with Riot, and it came out amazing, really, really cool. And that was one of the first big songs that hit virally. And then, Get Tough and Say Less Be More and the whole rest of the record. And it's really, really cool. And I'm going to be playing all these at the 9/11 gig, and you can see all the music videos and all the socials. And, but every song I tried to create from a very specific emotion. So that one is anger because of injustice, Say Less Be More is just basically being sick and tired of hearing people talk so much and not actually do anything. And we know tons of people like that, I'm sure. It's like, just say less and just be more. Actions only matter. That's the lyric, Get Tough, obviously overcoming, all challenges and obstacles. What else is on the record? But it's a great record. All the videos are going great and everything. Millions and millions of plays and views on all the platforms. And, there's a ton of record labels that have been, poking around trying to sign me, but I'm really enjoying this whole the mobility of the indie music situation, because I can think the concept, I can write everything, I can record everything on video, and then I can just do giant shows at SoHo Johnny, 9/11, and we can take over the world. It's amazing. One giant show at a time, that's what's up.
All right, quick. So
I didn't hear that, but I expect this is where I plug my website.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Unforgettable, spelled with 2 T's. UnforgettableFireLLC.com. Can also be found on Facebook at Unforgettable Fire LLC. UnforgettableTinyHouse.com. Those are my 3. And again, I would love to plug TruthSeekersWaterFestival.com. I'm very excited about this festival. It's all just magically falling in my lap. It's going to be so much fun, and there's going to be so much great information. People, please check it out. $20. You can get all 4 days, all of the speakers. I'll be doing an hour-long presentation. There'll be live music. There's going to be just all sorts of really cool stuff. So please check it out. Come visit for the 4 days and help yourself to looking over the website. If anybody's got questions, don't hesitate to call. That's what we're here for. Thank you, Brian, so much. Very cool. And nice meeting all of you guys with really cool projects. I'm goosebumping. I'm goosebumping. Thank you so much, guys.
Angelica, you're next.
So you can find me on Instagram, Angelica Robles 28, or my website, www.angelicaroblesoficial.com. The book is Through These Brown Eyes. It's dropping November 17th, and you can get it on pre-sale on my website.
Terri. Terri.
Oh, you see me. Okay. My website is terrimarieofficial.com, and then my social media for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that. It's nonstop Terri Marie.
SoHo Johnny, you get the last word. Go for it.
Well, listen, we're sounding the trumpet, and consider me the Pied Piper out there, because we've got a lot of goodwill. So we welcome everyone to the 9/11 Celebrity Gala Fashion Benefit, where you can expect the unexpected and different type forms of entertainment that are just coalescing for this one significant moment for our Celebration of Life show. We have our kick-ass red carpet at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have some streaming. We're not going to announce where it's going to be, but it's going to be it's going to be worldwide. And what we're doing is very, very unbelievable. It sounds like, again, I hate talking about, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about everybody that's involved in putting this show on. Please get your tickets. We still have some tickets left at SoHoJohnny.com, SoHoJohnny.com. It sounds like a commercial, I know. Or Let Me Help Inc. If you want to check out the LetMeHelpInc.org, you want to check out the foundation, because it's connectivity, and music is the common denominator. And we've got fashion, we've got so many different things. Even myself, this is the first time that I've been involved with this much of a confluence of talent and different types of entertainment at one show, different genres of music, as Charlie had pointed out before.
And the only thing I'm going to say, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, because the world needs it. I'm to you next week.
Thank you.